So, last time we did a review, we talked about Alien, and we didn't really agree to watch Alien Romulus. But did you get to go see it?
I saw it today. At the
Okay.
time of this recording, it premiered this weekend. What about you?
No, I rolled a dice.
Yeah, I know that, but you did that on Friday, and you are off on also on Saturday.
True, but I also had a birthday party to go to.
I thought
True.
that was last week.
No, 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 no. That's not true. It was
Okay.
for Erica. It is like her. She now has a boyfriend. This is like for those who don't know, we have our family is like we don't talk about them much, but
Right.
she has
Right.
a boyfriend, and I'm like, I went up to E and I'm like, hey, so who's this poor soul that we're gonna have to hurt? And because it was to celebrate his birthday for the boyfriend's birthday, and he goes, no, he's a good guy, he's a good kid, he's really good. And I'm like, man, I've been waiting like 25 years for this moment, and she has to find a good one right off the bat.
We're not going to do a review on Alien Romulus, but we'll put a short review on our stories
Okay,
of it without giving any spoilers because I don't like to give spoilers on our
main.
under 1 minute reviews. No, I
Oh,
don't like to give spoilers on our 1 minute reviews.
okay,
I'll just say this. It was better than anticipated.
okay.
Now, granted, I have not seen all the Alien films, as we mentioned from the Alien review,
Mm-hmm.
but it honors Aliens, Prometheus in more ways than one.
Okay.
And it brought back, I guess, the sci-fi horror genre into it.
Okay, I can see
But
that.
again, I don't know how the other films are, but this film, Alien Romulus, ties in the three I mentioned nicely.
So, would you say it, without giving a spoiler, is it in the tribute territory? Like it does tribute to the past?
Oh, in more ways than one, like I said, yes, it honors them
Okay.
in a great way.
All
And
right.
once you see it, you were like, oh, and like
Gotcha.
either catchphrases or characters,
Arguably
approach.
fan service that will be there, but there's some honoring and so forth like that. Okay.
Oh yeah, there's definitely fan service, yes. Not in the sense of same level as Deadpool and Wolverine.
No. Okay.
And the director is very good in doing, I think he did the remake of Evil Dead.
Oh, okay. The yeah.
Speaking from one franchise into another, because The Crow, the remake version, is coming out soon.
Mm-hmm.
The Crow in itself is a franchise. Originally started as a comic book,
Exactly.
then it came into movies, then sequels, then video games, then a television show.
Yeah, that's right. They did have a video game,
So
didn't they? Yeah.
I knew someone who worked on it.
Nice.
Well, as we're going to mention through our review of 1994's The Crow, starting the late Brandon Lee, I want to mention some other things about it that I know. By the way, great way to bring in the segue. Great with the small talk there.
Well, you know what? I was trying to lead into it by talking about tributes and stuff like that. I was going to go back there. You did it for me.
Fair enough. Currently on Rotten Tomatoes, The Crow is rated 86% by the critics and 90% by the audience. Do it
Welcome
with
to
me. Fire it up!
Fire it up! Fire
Fire
it
it
up!
up! Fire it up!
Isn't it like just 3 times?
How many times did I do it?
4.
Well, Skank did it like 5 times.
Skank's a special character. Welcome back to a Tales of Two Bros. I'm Adon,
I'm an angel.
where we give you a review at least once a week. Spoiler alert.
Before you watched it recently for this review,
Mm,
when was the last time you saw it?
honestly, maybe 8 years ago, I want to say.
Yeah, for me, it was almost like a Halloween tradition. And one of them, like every Halloween, I'll watch one film, either Halloween or another horror film or this, because this takes place.
During Halloween.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
So you have that thing. I mean, I always had some trouble because it, even though it kind of honors the comic book,
It does veer
it's like
differently.
loosely based.
Yeah.
Yes, it loosely based the comic book. Like I love the comic book by James O'Barr. Actually, he's in it. You know that? He makes like a cameo appearance.
Really?
Yeah,
He's probably like an extra or something like that.
he's writing Gideon's shop. He's running out with the TV.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he's definitely in the background.
Right. But the comic book in itself became such a like a cult favorite in the comic book world because of how it was written, the different type of art in it.
Yeah.
He was a comic book artist. His girlfriend passed away,
Yep.
but he was going through depression. He was going through grief. He was thinking about suicide himself.
Yeah.
Then he got lost into his artwork and created this beautiful story of love and revenge.
And loss.
Correct. But the book itself is just so beautifully done. In a sense, like you can see, like when he's have happy thoughts, how beautiful the artwork is, and
Hmm.
then when he's angry, the art changes. When he's telling the story, when he's back into the reality of the crow in a sense of current time, that's a different art as well. So you have beautiful different approaches to tell the story, and it was like I remember seeing the posters. It's like, and I have one of the posters, even actually signed by him. Is framed. I met him one time, and he still has like he's kind of like an introvert in a
Yeah.
way, like he's just to himself. It was very cool to meet him. I met him at one of the Comic Cons, of course. Yeah, have you read the comic?
No, no. I've seen like glimpses of the artwork and the pages. I've never read the comic in its entirety. Like I have the spin-off comics that came in afterwards, but that's always having to do with like
The
new,
sequels, yes,
yeah, that deals with like New Crows, a
I
couple
read
of the
them too.
novels.
Crow is just like an entity. Like it's everyone's story. I personally like
Mhm.
more Crow, City of Angels.
The movie.
I like it.
Okay.
Yes, I like it more than this one because I feel that Vincent Perez, who played the lead, is not Eric Draven.
I think the original idea was that they were going to
Six.
do sequels starting with Brandon Lee and like he was going to be the main
Well,
crow through the sequels.
yeah, but it doesn't make sense, especially with the comic book, how it's done. Because in the comic book, it's all about getting revenge.
True.
And when it's done, he's back with Shelley. It would make no sense. Now the show starring Mark Dacascos
Went that route.
went that route. Every episode is him, and like he's playing like the hero and everything. And this movie, watching it again, because it's been a while since I've watched it, and it's been maybe like 6 years ago or so. That it felt very Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle.
Because of the way the city
It
looked.
felt very Batman, the way the city looked
Hmm.
and how the characters were. Batman's 1989's Batman with Michael Keaton.
I kind of got Dark
It had
City.
that, okay, possibly. But the thing is, like at the end, where do they finish the end? At a
Yeah,
church,
yeah, at a church on top of the
right? And then a person falls down the where the bell toll is, right?
Mhm. He
The
doesn't make it all the
stairs.
way down to the ground, but close enough.
I'm talking about the sister and love interest, the incest, the Asian girl. She falls down. What
Oh
happens
yeah,
in
yeah.
the Batman,
You're right.
the goons fall down.
Hmm.
He falls off on his back. He crashes. He dies just like the Joker does.
Mhm.
The Crow is dressed in black. Batman's dressed in black.
Back.
There's a female in danger,
Distress.
Vicky Vale, and then you have the
Sarah.
little girl who's hanging.
Hmm.
Right? Oh, there's like almost to the T. And you have here, you have Ernie Hudson, the cop. He's almost like Alfred.
I was gonna go with Commissioner Gordon, but okay.
True. Okay. Yeah. You're right.
Ends up having to
The
investigate
girl.
him, so forth like that. Yeah. Hmm.
Right. Yeah. And the girl is like Vicky Vale or like Robin, but more like Vicky Vale because it doesn't know who really the Crow is.
Okay.
Now, I know it's not related to Star Wars, but you have that connection to Batman.
Mm.
And like you said, what was it, Dark City?
Dark City, which is with Kiefer Sutherland. Love that movie.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I think they have a show now called Dark City on Apple TV.
Not sure. The way they pan through the city for some reason reminded me of the
Mhm.
Dark City, and that's why 'cause the city in itself is an entity, and so
Right.
you do see the character of the city when it's on fire, when it's not on fire, when it's raining. It
Mhm.
also looked like
Right.
like a very dark Detroit, you know?
Most likely, that's probably the inspiration, and New York as well.
Yeah.
You remember our review on Black Adam that I said that Black Adam reminded me of The Crow in the sense of
His outfit?
it starts with the
Oh no, no, no.
because it's
Yeah.
black? No, because it starts with like telling an ending from a kid's point of view who's a skateboarder
Yes, because
who meets
Sarah's
an anti-hero.
she's your narrator recapping the story.
Right. She starts off the story telling, the almost like an origin of why there's a crow.
Hmm.
You have the kid in Black Adam telling about, there's a hero, I guess, in all of us, blah, blah, blah. I can't remember exactly the words because I only saw it once and we'll only see it once.
I mean, I could also compare it to Korg from Love and Thunder, but more
True.
serious.
But Corey doesn't ride on a skateboard.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't. No, yeah, this movie is way more serious. Comical
Mhm.
moments, if any, are far and few between.
Oh,
yeah,
well, you have comical moments in this movie with two characters,
yes,
Gideon and Skank.
exactly.
To me, those two were great. And also,
I kind of
FYI,
like. I thought Top Dollar was a little funny too.
which one was Top Dollar again?
Top, it's
Oh, the Top Dollar.
yeah,
Michael
Wincott.
Scott, Michael Wincott. Michael
Yeah.
Wincott. Excuse me. Yeah, great voice. He's like a British actor,
Mhm.
so he went English, American accent in here. Yeah, he's good. He was good. He had some great lines,
Yes.
but I think I mean, again,
Slapstick
how they
comedy
changed this
gives
up.
it
They
to Gideon and Skank.
right, and again, the missing point from like the connection from the comic to here, like for me, the girl wasn't needed. The cop was definitely not needed.
Mm.
They missed the essence of the crow in the comic book. The crow is like his subconscious to
Yeah, because it
keep
talks to him, right?
him. Yes, it's like I said, like it's his subconscious or his conscious,
Yeah.
and it's talking to like, don't do that, don't look there, blah blah. Because like if he looks at something or he goes into a room in the comic book, like he just
Mhm.
has a flashback and it brings him pain, whatever emotional pain, what have you. And he's like, I told you,
The crow here in the movie is more like a guiding rod. It directs
correct,
him on his purpose of vengeance here.
right. And he also like there's supposed to be like a cowboy crow, like the last time a crow was used, and he was a cowboy, was like deleted. They had like storyboards. Again, this is all information on the DVD, Blu-ray,
Mhm.
the extras. They cut that out. There's like deleted scenes. You see the cowboy like all ragged, and then the crow goes, then leaves him to go to Eric Draven.
This is going to be silly with me, but the more you're describing the crows from the book and whatnot, for some reason, I'm envisioning Demon Slayer with the crows talking to the Slayers. Each crow has
Possibly,
its
yeah.
own character. And now I'm like
Hmm.
envisioning the crow, but like, ah, and then like Musin, Michael Jackson comes in. Just is locked into my
Well, here,
mind.
no, I get it. I get it. But yeah, they're missing that part. And then like he doesn't have any pain since he's dead.
Yeah.
He's pretty much a zombie that has memories and all that stuff. In the movie, he does have pain.
Not much until like near the end. I
No,
mean,
no,
it's like
in the
brief
beginning.
moments. Yeah.
No, in the beginning too. It makes no sense. It makes no sense. He gets shot several times, doesn't suffer pain. But then he has a street fight with Tintin and he's in pain.
He doesn't get shot
Huh?
until after Tintin.
No, I understand that. But I'm
Yeah.
saying with the fight with Tintin, he's like, oh, like he gets hit with a pipe in the back. He's like, oh, like in
True,
pain.
true, true.
And then so things like that. So stuff like that. We're going to some of the faux pas. And but then later on, he gets he gets shot like up through the yin yang on in the club in the office. They all shoot at him, and then he
Shakes it off.
he doesn't wince. He doesn't. He's not in pain.
Yeah. I mean, it's like
You
it could
know.
be argued like the same thing like when we were talking about Deadpool Wolverine. Like Wolverine heals from everything, and there's times where he takes a hit like it's nothing, and then there's times where he clearly feels the pain.
The thing is with Deadpool Wolverine, they always feel pain,
Yeah.
but they just heal. In the comic with the Crow,
Oh, he's not supposed to.
no, like
Oh.
there's a scene where he gets shot in a shot in the head, like it goes boom, and he just stands there, lets the blood just to start to fall. Like he doesn't flinch, he doesn't doesn't register with him. He knows he got shot, and
Mm.
that's why there's like later on you see them. He has like his hands are taped, and so is his body.
Yeah.
Because of the damage the body has taken. So he just covers it up with the tape. It doesn't heal.
Yeah, I remember in
He's a walking corpse.
some of the novels I read. Yeah, he doesn't heal in some of the novels I've read.
Right.
All right, so in this version, he does heal, but in the comics,
Right. He has more. He has powers. Like
He's
yeah,
more
he
like
has,
he's more like a revenant, which is like just an uber powered zombie, basically.
but he also has healing powers in the sense of not just himself, but also of the living. Because remember, he cured the mother,
But that
by
wasn't in
taking
the
the morphine
comic.
out of her. No,
Like, I never read
I
it.
understand, but I'm just saying. Well, you read the novels, I guess, so you should say there. So no, he had no superpowers in
Yeah.
that aspect.
Yeah, but the novels were based on different character, not Draven. So
Right, but
yeah,
at the same token, it's like the same thing. It's like all it is about revenge. Also in the comic book, cats are attracted to him.
which we don't see here.
None. In the comic, you see one as the story progresses, more cats are with him. Like he has a huge litter of cats following him. So like Fun Boy or Tintin are hiding, you start seeing a cat. Then you start seeing another cat. You start seeing more and more. And then you see Eric in there walking among the cats
Mm.
with the crow on the shoulder. Yeah, I mean, I guess that could be expensive with doing that cats in the
Yeah.
movie aspect. This movie was low budget.
They also had
Was
to do
reshoots.
reshoots.
Yes, but they had to do reshoots mainly because of the passing of Brandon Lee.
Yeah.
But the thing is that this movie was cursed. Besides
Yeah.
him being shot, there was a lot of like people getting hurt
Hmm.
during filming, equipment breaking down, stuff like that. So, and then I think he also got sick, Brandon, one time. So they
Yeah.
had to stop shooting because the conditionings were so bad. Like you remember when he wakes up from the grave and
Yeah.
he's shaking because the place was freezing, the water was hitting him. Like they try to put like alcohol in the sense like to like rubbing alcohol in the water so it doesn't really be so cold. He was just freezing. So he got like I think he got pneumonia at
Yeah, I
one
think
time.
I
So they had
remember
a
that too. But like the whole
yeah.
crow curse, I've heard that too. Because granted, there's been many sequels, but there's been multiple times where they try to do a remake of the actual original Crow. Oddly
Right.
enough, that's going to be coming out soon. But this is like
Hmm.
30 years after that they finally do this, and there's been multiple actors that tried to do it, and there's been hiccups,
Right.
disasters, accidents, and stuff that are all tied around it. And even Jason Momoa wanted to be the Crow at one point.
Well, he was going to be right, and there was like I guess there was a tie up with the writing process.
Yeah,
I didn't want him to be the Crow because again,
he's too big.
another well, no, because he was going to be another actor being recycled in a comic book series. You know how I feel about that.
I do.
But at the same token, I thought his interpretation of the Crow would have been awesome. I think Jason Momoa would have brought a great approach to Eric Draven and the Crow. I personally think he would have killed it.
Okay.
Now, Skarsgård, who's going to do the remake, I think he's going to do a great job because he is a very talented actor.
Yes, and he proved
I just
himself
don't.
in
I
an
just don't.
action role when we reviewed Boy
Yes,
Kills World.
but when I seen the previews, I think they just went a total different direction in the sense of the comic book.
True.
And of course of this movie in this sense because this again this even though the movie was close to the comic it did veer off. They changed the order of also the characters of who they were like Fun Boy, Skank, and they switched it up here a little bit.
Okay.
Skank, played by Angel David, was one of
Okay.
my acting coaches in New York.
But what?
Yes, I
I
thought
did
about
not
it,
know
but
this.
he was one of my yeah he was one of my acting coaches in New York.
Okay.
Then I looked at him. I was like, "Oh my god, he's in the Crow!" I was like, "I love the Crow even back then," and so it was really cool. And also the guy who played T-Bird,
Yeah, T-Bird, David Patrick Kelly.
right? He is also a former karate practitioner at
Yeah.
Sado Karate
I
with me.
oh, at Sato. Like I knew he was a
Yes,
martial artist because I believe we talked about him being a martial artist before, but I didn't know he was at Sato.
yes. You know, he's in John Wick. He's in Warriors with the bottle caps
Hmm.
clanking. He's in
Uh,
Dreamscape, demonstrating his martial
Last Man
arts.
Standing. He's been in a lot of movies.
Oh yeah, he's a seasoned actor.
Hmm.
But when I saw him, I was like, oh, I know who you are, but I didn't know I didn't blow up his spot. I was just like, I love your work, man. You know what I'm saying? But we trained together a few times during my Sato days.
Okay.
So yeah, so there you go. There you go. So that's how I relate to that movie, or I'm connected. Not really connected, but I'm connected
Six
in a
degrees
way.
of separation. You know somebody that knows somebody.
Exactly. Who is your favorite character though?
Yeah, character.
Oh, before that, just like his father, Brandon Lee died before seeing the film being done.
Yeah.
He got mostly done the major principal shots. There were some other shots that he needed to be done, but unfortunately, he passed away during one of the scenes. And do you know the scene that he died in?
The opening scene when they introduce Eric Draven, where he walks in on T-Bird and the crew attacking his fiance.
Right, but they changed it up.
Yes, which that was
They
an urban legend for the longest time that they kept the scene in the movie. They didn't. They reshot the scene.
no, they're not going to show the murder. Why would you show the murder?
That's why I said it was an urban legend. Like some people believe that like
right.
they kept the scene because it just worked, but like no.
No. So the scene that was supposed to happen, Fun Boy shoots him.
Yeah.
But they changed it with Tintin throwing the knife at him.
Okay.
So the right. So
Oh, you're
throws the
talking
knife at him,
about
he
like
gets hit
in
the
the scene
chest.
that we saw was with Tintin. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But in the
Right.
original
They changed
shot was with
it.
Michael Massey played by.
Correct. So Fun Boy shoots him, and that gunshot was the fatal blow, unfortunately, to Brandon Lee. But they reshot it with Tintin throwing this knife as soon as he walks in, and it's done by his stunt double. A lot of the shots were done by a stunt double. You know who his stunt double was?
No.
His stunt double was the same stunt double for Keanu Reeves in The Matrix, and also became then director for the John Wick films. Chad Stahelski.
All right.
He was the body double, stunt double. I mean, we see him, but not see him when the Crow finally emerges with the makeup and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Is actually him, but they impose Brandon Lee's face.
Yeah, I remember.
But then you can see you can kind of recognize that when they pull away the camera, it's his face. But again, it's kind of far, so you can't really. If you pay attention, you can see there's a little difference. And again, all the shots that you don't see his face, you see the back, what have you, that's Chad. And you notice like when he puts the black top on, it's like skin tight because he's very muscular.
Hmm.
Brandon Lee was muscular too,
He
but
lost
later on
weight
you
for the
see
role.
this he did, but he was still ripped.
True,
He was
very,
still in shape,
very much so.
but the top is a little loose. Of course, now I'm nitpicking here in that aspect. There's some other faux pas. Like I said, I really didn't like the girl and the cop. Again, not really needed, but I guess they needed something. If they just stayed true to it, it would have been because
Okay.
that allows slow parts, and I was like, unnecessary.
All right,
But
but like, so you're having a hard time splitting the comic from the movie, from the sound of it.
I always did. I've always did, even the first time, because I was like, I love the book. I read it first, because the shop owners were telling me this is the book you got to read.
Okay,
Back then, I was just DC and Marvel, DC and Marvel.
and it was
That's
his own
all.
thing.
Right. It was like self-produced and stuff like that. And then third party bought it
Hmm.
to distribute it. And I read it. I was like, holy crap, this is good. And then I started reading off spin-offs or sequels to The Crow. They all wore a different type of mask, which
Okay.
is really cool. Like the female cop, the Native American, like a sheriff, she had the crow painted on her face. Like the head would be up here on the forehead, the wings will come out here, the nose will be the tail.
Hmm.
Those are really cool design. And then they did spin-offs. I know you know that, but the Crow did like the Crow and Witchblade, something like that.
Yeah, I think. Yeah,
They
they
go
did a lot.
partner up.
Yeah, a lot of crossovers.
Right. So it'd be like that stuff. I'm not really sure it was Witchblade. Maybe it was Witchblade or someone else. But anyway, so let's get back to this.
You're asking me if I
Excuse
had
me.
a favorite character.
Yes. Do you have a favorite character?
Well, I'll say this: it's very hard for two reasons. One, I think a lot of the performances were great from the
Mhm.
individual cast members that you see. I
Oh,
don't see too many that that did anything short on their performance. But it is a revenge story, so they get eliminated relatively quick. So if I had to pick one, I would choose Top Dollar.
okay.
And you had so
Candyman. I forgot Candyman
oh
was in
yeah,
this.
Tony Todd. Yeah, he has
And I
a
was
small
thinking like,
role, but it's like great.
no, it's not that small. It's a pretty significant role, I think. But I was
Yeah,
thinking, okay, Ernie Hudson, seasoned actor,
he did a good job in this too.
but Keith David would have been better. You know, we love Keith David.
We do
He's
love
almost
Keith
on
David.
everything that we love, be it movies and shows
Yeah,
and cartoons. So I was thinking he would have been a great role. He would have been a great role as the Hunchman.
he would have been good as
Yeah,
Grange. I
either
don't see
or.
Keith David necessarily as Ernie Hudson's character, and I'll tell you why. Because I can't
The
see
chain
Keith.
smoking.
No, 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 no. I can't see Keith David taking any kind of garbage from anybody else. And that Torres, Marco
Oh, that's
Rodriguez,
right.
talking down to him and doing all that.
Yes.
I feel like Keith David would just like
Yes.
come out. He's a great actor. Great actor. He's just like that's how I see Keith David as a badass.
Because he is a badass in almost everything. Even when
Yeah.
he's playing
Comedy.
in comedy, he's a badass. You don't want to mess with him at all.
Hmm.
So yes, but I just saying, like, I was thinking, damn, Keith David would have rocked this in either character.
True.
But for me, it was a between or tie, if you will, with Skank and Gideon. Gideon was awesome. Gideon was the
And I
way
like
he talks,
John
his
Polito.
mannerism. Oh my God, he is so good. His mannerism, his timing, it was just, and his
Mhm.
voice is just so like good.
And for those who don't know, John
So good.
Polito's been in stuff like American Gangster. He's been voice over work like for Hammerhead and Ultimate Spider-Man and like games like Batman Arkham Underworld. All these actors are really like to this day are now like for the most part very iconic.
Oh, they were iconic back then. There were seasoned actors back then.
Yeah, yeah.
Angel David, he was up and coming, and
Yeah.
then he got into like miniseries and other things. But everyone else, yes, and him playing Skank, total transformation in a sense
Skank
of
who?
when
I ain't Skank. Skank's over there.
Skank,
Skink dead.
today's not a good day to be a bad guy. When I met him and I realized who he was, because it's a total transformation in
Yeah.
a sense of like, of course, that's what acting is, right?
Hmm.
He doesn't sound or look like him. The hair, of course, is not there. It's clean cut. He has more proper English and all that stuff. So kudos for in the sense of transformation. Because when I recognized or finally recognized that was who he was or who he played, I was like, holy crap. Do you have a favorite scene?
So many good scenes. There are so many powerful scenes. I'm gonna have to split it because to be honest, this is one of my top 3 films. So it's hard to like. It's like picking your favorite children at this point
Okay, but top 3 films in what sense?
of all time for me, like that I enjoy.
Okay.
Again, I don't compare it to the comic. I don't have that comparison, so I only go from the movie.
No, I get it. So, okay. So this is like, in my opinion, in the sense of X-Men Origins Wolverine.
Okay, how I feel about that? Yeah.
How he gets kind of the essence of the character, but then it goes somewhere else.
Okay.
And then creative differences. So that's why, since I was such a lover of the comic book, and then see this and like not so happy about it, that's what I'm saying. But go ahead.
I was gonna say originally like the scene of Tintin when he encounters Tintin. That's a great moment. I do know it has your faux pas in there. I would say if I had to go above that, would be the next scene with Fun Boy and Darla.
Okay.
It's not really an action scene. He sneaks
No.
into the room, like he gets a shot in the hand, like, and it's like, you ruined my sheets. And then leading into the bathroom where he grabs Darla's arm and he tells her, "Mother is the word on
the world of God on the
is the word of God on every child's lips." And you see,
powerful.
It's a powerful.
It's true. But it's true because growing up, the parents are gods to them. That's what they know. It's so powerful that scene.
Yeah.
Yes, I agree with that.
So it's a very intense scene for different reasons. So like for me, Tintin scene where he's doing the knife fighting, and I like the sense that even though we know Brandon Lee's an extremely good martial artist, he displays martial art skills, but he doesn't really display that he's like a supreme martial artist or anything like that. He struggles with the fighting, uses his strength more, brawls a little bit more, and then as he gets more comfortable with his reflexes and skills, he gets better and better and better.
Well, that's like in the comic book because the guy, again, it is a rock and roller grunge kind of like Nirvana kind of band that he plays in, which is true in the comic.
Yeah.
But he is one of the fight choreographers. He's credited as one of the fight choreographers.
Oh, yeah.
As well as Jeff Imida, who trained him for
Rapid Fire?
Yes. He trained him, as well as Don Santo, which was Bruce Lee's best friend growing up. So it's kind of like that. Jeff Imada and Brandon were like best friends. And Jeff Imada is also in Big Trouble in Little China.
Another one of my top movies of all time for me.
Right. No, it's one of my greats. Yes. Where he shows up in front of Jack Burton and he goes like this and the stick elongates.
Yeah.
At the airport. That's Jeff Imada. He's in the movie too. He gets killed by the Crow at the office scene on the shootout. He's the Asian dude with the
goatee
at the suit on the table. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. He has like a one-liner. But anyway.
So what's a favorite scene for you?
Even though I have faux pas, I'm with you with Tintin. It's a good scene. It's a good scene. Now, the acting is pretty bad from Brandon. I'm sorry. But it was a good scene because we see the Crow.
Yeah.
So we see him like emerge, like Batman doing his first night out.
Yeah, he's learning.
Right. And so you had that. And granted, I can't help. Like there's so many lines that I think of Batman because he goes, "Listen." Even though this came before, but it was almost like Christian Bale's, listen to me. It's like kind of like that. But also when he shows up to the office, to all those goons, he says, "Gentlemen." That it reminds me of not Michael Keaton, Jack Nicholson's Joker when he shows up at the museum.
Oh.
"Gentlemen, let's broaden our minds." Lawrence? So when he says that line, I don't know why, because he says it like almost in the same mannerism as Jack Nicholson did. And also he does kind of look like the Joker. With the smile on the makeup.
Yeah, no, they comment about him looking like a psycho mime, like Ernie.
Of course,
and he does have some great one-liners.
Oh yeah, so does Gideon. So does Top Dollar,
T-Bird,
Fun Boy, T-Bird. Yes, and also he's quoting a lot of like Christian scriptures. He brought that in.
I thought it was because he was reading the book at Shelley's place.
Right. But the actor brought that to the table.
That was before Pulp Fiction, right?
Yeah. So he brought that aspect of the character, like let's have him talk scripture.
Actually, they both came out the same year.
Pulp Fiction?
Yeah.
Oh wow. I mean, I did like Tintin scene, but to tell you the truth, the pawn shop.
Pawn shop's such a good scene too.
With the Crow and Gideon and how Gideon is talking shit. I mean, every scene that Gideon is in, he's talking shit. Even when he's about to die, he's talking shit.
Especially the word shit. He's like, "Shit on me. Shit on me."
Right. When he's at the bar and he gets startled.
Which, okay,
When
that
he's
was a faux pas for me. He went to the same bar that he sent Eric to. He's like,
right.
yeah, they're all there. You can find them there. Fun Boys even has a room there. If I just got a
Yes.
dagger through my hand and my shop blew up right behind me and I'm been burned, I'm not gonna go to the same. Like, is this the only bar that's existing in all of the city?
Right. And everyone knows where you're gonna be. It's like Cheers.
Exactly.
Everyone, I mean, there's so many food paws. But
But
again, every
that's
scene he's in is great.
I mean, that's a good scene
We
with the rings and his going back
yes.
and forth with Brandon Lee. It's like, I didn't do it. It's like, I'm trying to make a living, something like that, right? And he's like, every ring
Yeah.
is a life you've helped to destroy.
Also the entrance when he's like rapping on the door. You heard me rapping, right?
Oh yeah,
I mean, it
he
was
quotes
really,
Edgar Allan
you know,
Poe. Yes,
yeah, no, I mean, it's a really good scene in that sense. And that's something like his great acting in that aspect. That scene was really good acting from Brandon Lee.
yeah, when he hangs upside down, smacks Gideon.
Like a bat, like a bat.
Yeah, mm-hmm.
And he grabs the bat, and so hello, see how many relations this to Batman it is, or how it's connected to Batman. So yes, before that, Tintin's there. That little intro of Gideon with Tintin. He's so natural at
Yeah,
that, and even though he's a pawn shop owner, he's acting very gangster.
absolutely. Even when he's talking to
And
Top Dollar. He's
oh
acting
yeah,
like he's a made guy. Like he's like I'm not crazy like you two. Talking a lot of crap to a guy who's swinging a sword.
right. And he has that the pinky ring with the long nail
Mm.
for
Oh yeah, I remember
for
seeing the long
drugs, right?
nail. I'm like,
What about faux pas? And there is a lot. For me, for one, off the bat, is the CGI.
well, here's the weird thing. Well, first, did you watch it on Amazon or did you watch it on DVD or how did you watch it?
I have the Blu-ray.
Okay, I watched it on Amazon,
Okay.
and which was free. So for those who don't know, you can catch it there now. But for some reason, I think it's a lot of times for older films, unless you can watch it widescreen, it's fit to film, so it's stretched. So like the CGI, like
Mm-hmm.
when they're spanning over the city, they're trying to cover up certain scenes.
Mm-hmm.
That becomes a lot more apparent to me, and the way they're
Well, it
flowing
was
through back
apparent
and
with
forth.
on Blu-ray.
Really? Okay. Was it
On Blu-ray,
screen and
yeah,
widescreen for you? Did you have it on widescreen?
yeah, it was widescreen. It was on
Okay.
widescreen, but it was still bad.
Okay.
Like the gunshot to the hand, right?
Yeah.
Even though it is his hand, made it look like it was off, like they had to put the hole in and stuff like that. But it's his hand.
Yeah.
The deleted scenes or behind the scenes stuff, he's doing it on that shot. It looks like for some reason like superimposed or like they added the whole hand again, what have you.
Doesn't look
Him
clean.
running on the rooftop, right? Him running on the rooftop. The CGI was extremely bad. I mean, I don't know how much the budget was. It didn't make that much money. It made like 50 million back then,
Well, I could tell you what the
but
budget was, at least by IMDb standards. So the budget was
okay,
23 million estimated.
right, and it made 50 million, so it's a success,
Yeah. So I made double, more than
right?
double
It probably made more. It probably made more than 50 in the sense of Blu-ray and DVD sales and all
in the
that
long
stuff.
run.
But
Yeah.
when Fun Boy gets shot,
Mm-hmm.
did you notice the string out of his leg?
Oh no, I thought that was his pajama
His pant
pants.
leg. It was his pajama pants, but when he fell, instead of like a lot of times they have like remote detonations
Yeah.
of being shot, he had it under his leg that when he got shot, then the squid will go out,
Yeah.
will
No, what I
fire
mean
out.
is I just thought that was like the drawstring or something from his. I just thought it was a.
That long?
Well, I didn't see the length. I just saw some type of string, like a little bit. So I just thought like it was just a piece of his
No, that's some
pajama.
filmmaking faux pas right there.
Fair enough.
Like someone did like in post didn't etch it out, and that what cracks me up because like kids like they still keep it in there, even in Blu-ray they still keep that in
No
there.
one would notice.
But I did.
There was a goof where
Oh,
where they defibrillated Shelly while she's fully clothed, which is the electrical paddles on top of her clothes.
right. No, there has to be skin on skin
Yeah.
or skin to paddle.
Yeah.
Right. Also, when they had the oxygen mask on her
Mm-hmm.
and they take her down, she has them oxygen mask still on her. Sarah comes. They're about to put on the ambulance.
It's off.
And they put it back on her. I was like, what? Huh? Also, all things are said and done, and the crow gives back Sarah the ring.
Mm-hmm.
Eric's grave is completely sealed and pretty.
So no, I thought that
Where
was
when he,
intentional.
well, everything is like, but the cops are still there, right?
Yeah, but
And when Shelley greets him, the grave is still messed up.
hmm,
So I find out funny. Now, granted, in the comic book, all they did was like, I'm coming, like, I can't remember. I'm trying to remember. It's like, I'm coming home. And all you see is the panel of the gravestone of the
okay.
cherub. And that's it. That's it, just done. Like, his story is done. Yeah. I mean, I just found it's like, that's kind of convenient how it's all nicely cleaned up. Because I thought he would go back into the grave before Shelley shows up,
Yeah,
and it says like rest in peace, something like that. But she takes him, to heaven or to wherever they're
I
going.
interpreted it like she
Uh,
dragged him back into the grave, not in a horror way, but like
right,
his
but no,
body's
she
back at
stands him up.
rest.
Right, but she brings him up anyway.
Yeah.
I just find because again, like when Sarah gets the ring, there's cop cars behind her.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so the nightclub scene again, the office where the shootout's happening is so funny though. Several people are falling out the window, but people are still dancing, just like John Wick.
Only one person they responding and start bailing out. I
Right,
noticed that. Yeah.
right. Like the last person that fell out, besides Skank,
Oh, speaking of
before
which,
Skank.
so remember the cop that gets the coffee spilled on him, right?
Yes.
Is that the same cop that Skank falls onto?
Oh, I can't remember. I
He
don't
falls on the
remember.
cop car, and the officer gets
Right.
out, and I'm like, yo, that's the same guy that got the coffee.
Oh, yeah. You know what? Yeah, you're right. It is.
Not only did they wreck their car because they completely wrecked their cop car, they got a new car in the same night,
Yeah, pretty fast.
and then he's back on duty and gets wrecked again by
Yeah.
Skank both times.
I do have a problem with Brandon Lee's acting. There are some good moments, but there's a lot of bad moments. And so when
Mm-hmm.
like Albrecht's house,
Okay.
he grabs a beer because he dropped the beer because he scared him, right?
Yeah.
So he goes back into the kitchen, he gets the beer, and he's like looking at it like as like he doesn't know what it is. It's like, what is this?
Maybe he doesn't like that brand.
Maybe, but at the same token, like if you know what you're looking for, because you go in the kitchen because he dropped the beer. He goes in to grab it. You're looking at it like, I don't know what this is. I know he's trying to kill time because the guy's having a little
Yeah.
monologue,
Maybe he's trying to act
but
out like how to figure out if it's a twist top or a pop top.
possibly. But his acting here, now granted, like how do you portray someone who's coming back from the dead? That's kind of hard, right?
Yeah.
But the motivation is revenge because you're being woken up to exact
Yeah.
revenge.
And mind you,
So that
like
should be.
it's been about a year on the anniversary of his death.
And here's another faux pas because it should not be a year, and it's not a year in the comic book.
Okay.
It's almost immediately.
Which in some stories I've heard that where it's like the next day or something like that.
Right. He should be like Wolverine, bone. In a year's time, he should be nothing but bone. His body has decayed, something like that. You don't come back all pretty and just have the scars. Oh,
Yeah.
why is his jacket and shirt ripped from the back?
Oh, that's
And he's shoeless.
I don't know
So
about
he
the
got
shoes,
buried?
but I can tell you about the
He got
shirt.
buried shoeless. Okay, the jacket and shirt. That's why is it split in the
Morticians.
back?
Yeah, because like they just drape it over the body. They shove it over and like they
Oh,
cut it.
really?
Yeah. I could be wrong. If anybody's a mortician out there in our audience, let me know. But to my knowledge, it's number one, you want the body to look good, but you don't want to move the body too much. So they actually like will cut the back open, drape it over, slide it over their arms, and tuck everything underneath. I could be wrong because you got to think about it. If you're going to put a shirt, jacket, and everything, and you don't do that, now you got to lift the body up. You got to at least sit them up, depending on the
I thought they were
size and the
standing.
mass. You know
I
what?
thought they were standing. I thought they stand them up on a wall.
Maybe back in the Western times, like they'll lean them.
I don't.
But
Well,
like,
no. Before they put him in the coffin. I don't know either. I'm not a mortician either.
I mean, it
Okay?
makes the most
I don't
sense
like- I
to
don't
me
like
to
being-
do that, though. Like to
Okay.
cut.
So, but what about the pants then? How come the pants are not cut in the back?
I mean, that's just like it. Well, it makes sense about the feet though. For the shoes, they could just recycle the shoes. But
I don't know. Like I said, I've only been to a few funerals, open casket. I guess the pants. I guess it's easier to put the pants. You just put
Yeah.
it. You just slip it through the legs.
and the only funeral
So,
I
never mind on that
remember
part.
open casket was like waist up.
Grandpa's. It's
No, I wasn't at
grandpa's.
Grandpa's funeral. You went.
Oh, you didn't go?
I
You were
didn't
too
go.
young?
No, our sister and you went. I went to a funeral for ex-girlfriend's grandfather.
Okay.
Yeah, and that one was
I don't know.
waist high.
I just thought that was weird, but you say that's because I'm a mortician. Okay, that makes sense then.
Again,
Okay.
someone fact check us.
Because we don't like to do that here sometimes.
Gonna
Even though
Google.
we have a computer in front of us. Shoot, there's another faux pas.
Any with Bai Ling?
Oh, her makeup. She puts the makeup lipstick like over the lip and over. I was like, why?
I did caught that. Like I was like, that seems excessive. But her character seemed extremely excessive.
Well, yeah, she likes to take people's eyes.
Were they eating the eyes? I think they were just burning
No,
them and
yeah,
inhaling the ash.
yeah. It was like this the not the ash, but the fumes.
Yeah.
Oh, how does a building blow up from a shotgun on spilled gasoline?
Okay, so that whole, as much as we love that scene, because that was a
Yes,
good scene, why is there gasoline just laying about inside a pawn shop? And I'm talking about barrels of gasoline. Unless
right,
the pawn shop owner was holding on to the gasoline for T-Bird and his crew, because it was going to be
right,
that would
right.
make sense,
Because
but that was never addressed.
correct, because
Uh,
everything was in the trunk of T-Bird's car.
yeah,
But
and
you're right about that. But do you also notice that? So like Gideon's trying to like beg for his life in a way, or spilling his guts out, and he's spilling the gas all over.
Gideon
Gideon's
doesn't
not really
acknowledge
paying
it.
attention, right? But then he starts to break the glass. He's like, "Oh, come on, man! You're ruining my shop." I was like, he's spilling gas
I mean, he already messed up the
before
shop
that.
a great deal. Yeah.
But I'm just saying he's spilling gas, like showing you that he has plans for that. He's not just spilling it just for the smell of it.
Mm-hmm.
But he freaks out more about the glass being broken at his counter. I was like, okay, sure.
I mean, Gideon's a
But again,
very selfish man.
but the thing is, the sparks from the shotgun would not have the shop explode in that extreme. It may catch fire because the fumes are coming up and then it ignites the fumes.
Yeah,
And then
I get
that
what
can
you're
go
talking
up,
about.
but
It's
it
not like there's
doesn't,
a gas line that was busted, like, or like,
or he's shooting a C4 that's there or what
yeah.
have you.
They
Right.
treated it like
He's
it would
not
start a huge fire, or if all the gasoline
right.
was piled on top of each other, then that exploded. Because like the sparks could catch fire, but I get what you're talking about.
And then that happens, and then Sarah and Albrecht, they're at the hot dog shop. It's like, what was that? It's like, what do you think it was? It was an explosion.
Yeah, Devil's Nights tomorrow night.
But the thing is, like, they're just like kind of calm about it. It's like, well, I
Mhm.
guess so, because they're just
It happens like every year.
every time. And now let's go to the Rotten Tomato score.
Mhm.
86% by the critics, 90% by the audience. Since this is one of your top 3 films, where do you see it as?
I lean with the audience. I would say 90% is a very solid and good score for it. It does have food pause. There are some things in there, but it still holds up. Still a good time and still a fantastic movie, in my opinion. What about you?
I'm more 80 because of the love I have for the comic book, the poor acting choices of Brandon Lee. Unfortunately, there were so many bad acting choices. Like I said, The Crow City of Angels, Vincent Perez's acting choices are a lot better than here.
Okay.
Also, just to go back to the comic book, I can understand in a sense, like if you watch your girlfriend die, right?
Mm.
And there's nothing you can do about it. Here, not really, because he gets thrown out before she dies. So he doesn't know that she died, really, until after he wakes up, right? From the grave. In Japanese films, like samurai films, and I didn't know about this until I was at a movie theater with Japanese people around me, and they started crying. And I'm
Mhm.
like, I don't get, why is everyone's crying? There's a movie, I can't remember, but it's a movie with Toshiro Mifune, and he was burdened by protecting, I think, his daughter's son, a newborn,
Okay.
and he couldn't. He failed, but he dies with his eyes open. Like he's trying to watch him as long as he can until he can't. And then the baby gets taken away or something like that by the bad guys. So he dies with his eyes open. In the comic book, they're on a picnic, or they're having a ride, whatever, right? They're just on the drive.
Okay.
They stop by to have a picnic. And as they stop by, these gangs, bikers, whatever, they come in, they see them having a picnic, and that's where the chaos happens. That's where he's getting beat up. That's where she's getting raped. That's where she dies in front of him, and then he died.
Like Mad Max.
Yes, but he sees it happen,
Okay.
and then he gets killed. Since he was like enraged and trying to and he can't do anything, but he gets killed, the revenge, the crow appears to enact the revenge onto these people.
Okay.
So that's where I find it different, because again, he didn't see her die. He didn't know, because he died first. In the comic, he dies last.
I mean, he knows that she died, but he didn't see her die.
So that's why, and I know there should be some room for interpretation or creative differences like that. But the way the comic book sells it and shows us and gives us an emotional ride, I didn't get that from this movie. So
Okay.
that's where I get a difference. Now, the remake, I don't know how that's going to be. Again, because they're going a different angle with this, especially with all the tattoos and all that stuff. And it looks like more like bankers that they're fighting against and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Corporations, what have you. So I don't know how it's going to be done. I'm going to look. I'm going to watch it because I like Skarsgård. He's a good actor, and like I
Mhm.
said, he's a great. He can do it action. He has the chops. So we'll see. We can agree that this is worth the watch.
Yes.
We can agree that this is worth the buy.
Absolutely. We both own it.
Why'd you watch it on Amazon?
The DVD is secured in a very safe place.
Where? Where is it?
It's in storage.
Jesus Christ. Oh my God. If they have an anniversary one, I will buy it.
I mean, is that 30 years now?
They may come out with one.
Actually, no, there's a 30th anniversary re-release trailer.
Well, okay.
So there might be one out there. We just on Rotten Tomatoes, there shows The Crow 30th anniversary re-release trailer. So I just didn't click it to see where.
Wow.
Yeah, it's been 30. Yeah.
I was in college when it came out.
I was still in middle school. No, actually, wait. 10 years old? Would I have been? No.
Probably
I was in elementary.
94, right? It came out 94.
Yep. Man, I'm too young.
And I'm too old.
All right, guys, that was our throwback review of The Crow. Let us know if you've seen it, if you liked it, if there was a scene that you enjoyed or if you didn't enjoy in the comments below. Also, don't forget to follow us on Instagram. Until next time, will be the next time. I'm Adon.
I'm Angel.
Love you, bro.
Love you too.
Fire it up.
Fire it up. Fire it up. Fire it up.